What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. It's time for my weekly recap where we'll talk about the Spurs last week. While I'm going over this, drop a comment down below. What did you like from certain players? What didn't you like? What did you like about the team overall? Of course, hit that thumbs up if you like, support the channel, and subscribe for more Spurs content. Let's just get right into it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, starting off, the Spurs did go 1-2 last week against the Lakers, Mavericks, and Bucks. Got a huge win against Milwaukee last night. I don't care that they were missing players. They still had Giannis. They still had Chris Middleton. That's enough to win a game, and the Spurs won in Milwaukee. So I'm very proud of that. They should have beat the Lakers last week, but they couldn't make any free throws. We'll circle back to that in a little bit. But still, I'm happy with what this team is doing right now. Yes, I know they have a losing record. They're 2-4 Spurs fans. That being said, they've played a bunch of playoff caliber teams and have hung with them to the end of the game and really should be 3-3 right now. So as the schedule lightens up and gets a little easier moving forward, I do expect more wins from this team. Let's get into the players and how they did last week. First off, Dejante Murray. Dejante Murray. He's getting a lot of shade in the comments sometimes here and there in my live streams and in my videos, but Dejante Murray had an all-star type week. Shot much better from the field, just under 50%. Actually hit his threes last week. He did struggle from the free throw line. If you look at the stats, our whole darn team did. Anyways, 9 rebounds, 10.7 assists, 22.3 points per game. So he gave us a 22-9, 11 line, plus 2 steals. And I know a lot of you like plus minus, so I'm putting the plus minus on there. And as requested, the minutes are over there so you can put things in perspective. Dejante had an MVP type week last week. Hopefully he can keep it going. And if he keeps this up, he is going to make an all-star team. So great job, Dejante Murray. Not just good, but great rating this week. Up next, our other guard, Derek White. Derek, I thought, had a good and bad week. I thought he was good for the most part defensively doing Derek things, but he really struggled with his shot last week. You take a look, he shot just under 40% from the field, only shot 23% from beyond the arc, and he really struggled at the free throw line, and that's a little alarming. Both our guards, when you see the free throw percentages, are not very good, and combine them together, it's under 50%. I don't know if our guards, our team, are practicing free throws with Jakob, but just a very bad week from the free throw line for everybody. Derek still gets 5.7 assists. He was getting steals. He was getting blocks, but a little bit of an alarming minus 0.87 when he was on the court. No lot you like to look at that. Some of you read into it, some don't. Just a very huge contrast between when Dejante's on the court and when Derek is on the court. Yes, they're on the court a lot together, but when they're separated, the team is obviously performing very differently. Lonnie Walker. Lonnie had kind of a mixed week. I thought he had a good, bad week as well. I thought Lonnie was good off the bench in the first game against the Lakers, but with Doug McDermott out nursing a knee injury, thought he kind of struggled and would get a bad rating as a starter. When you look at his overall week, he did shoot 45% from the field, 40% from beyond the arc, 83% from the free throw line, but a lot of this is front-loaded into that game against the Lakers. The last 2 games he's been kind of a little bit hit and miss and really struggled against the Bucks last night. But they gave us 13 points per game. Lonnie is one of those streaky players, so maybe just, he's going to be up and down here and there. But overall, I thought it was a good and bad week. Hopefully turns things around this week. Keldon Johnson. I can't sugarcoat this. He had an ugly week. Ugly week. The effort was there. He was rebounding well, but when you look at Keldon's stats, just under 30% from the field, 20% from beyond the arc. He is really, really struggling from beyond the arc right now. Teams are just going to dare him to shoot this 3 until he starts making them. They're just going to leave him open. And, I would too. It's going to hurt our floor spacing moving forward if he can't start nailing those threes. Hopefully he turns things around sooner than later. Did give us a 7.3 rebounds. But much like Derek White, though, if you believe in plus minus and really focus on that as an analytic, the team was minus 11, which was the worst out of everybody on the team, which is alarming when you look at Derek and Keldon's plus minus. They're our starters and are going to typically close games, and they're in the negative. Hopefully he can turn things around. Okay, let's keep it going. Jakob Poeltl. What can I say about Jakob? Good week. Almost great. And the only thing that keeps him out of greatness, if you will, is he still can't hit a darn free throw. He had a career-high 27 points against LA, though. And throughout the week, Jakob was fantastic. 32 minutes, right around 64% from the field, 33% from the free throw line. But he did hit 2 in a row against the Bucks last night, so maybe he can start a trend of making them. Rebounds, 11, like it. His assists dropped substantially from last week, but he still gave us a steal and 1.7 blocks and averaged 16.3 points per game. He was our second leading scorer, so overall I like what I saw from Jakob. Devin Vassell. Devin, I'm going to give a good and bad week. The reason being is if you look at Devin's shooting, he really struggled like a lot of guys did this week. 32% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc, 66% from the free throw line. He did get 29 minutes per game, which I was a little surprised at. I didn't realize Pop was playing him that much. Chipped in just about 7 rebounds, gave us a steal, 10 points per game. So while he shot, his shooting was rough, which is why I'm rating that bad. Overall, I think it's a good week because I think he's still contributing on the defensive end, and he's obviously a difference maker. He has the best plus minus of anybody on the Spurs, plus 12.3. So even if he's not scoring, he still is contributing. And that's what you like to see. If a player's struggling on one end of the court, they're still making a difference somewhere, and Devin did do that. So that's why I give him a good bad week. I'm sure he'll turn his shooting around, but right now I give him kind of a mixed week. Bryn Forbes. Man, started rough. Lakers, he only played a few minutes, but finally started hitting some shots against the Mavs. And overall, this was a good week for Bryn Forbes. When you compare it to last week, this is like complete apples and oranges. He shot 46% from the field, 50% from beyond the arc. He also, 50% from the line. It is what it is. And averaged 10.3 points per game in 15.9 minutes. This is what I expect from Bryn. He's there as a shooter. I don't expect a lot from defense. I will say the effort and hustle is there. I do see it at times. It's just, maybe the technical aspect is not there for him. Either way, this was a much better week, and I hope he performs more like this on a week-to-week basis. Gives us about 17, 18 minutes per game and throws in a quick 10 points, hits a couple threes, helps the floor spacing, and contributes to the team. Up next, Drew Eubanks, or Drew Udunks. You guys have a lot of names for him. Overall, I think this was a good, typical Drew week. Nothing stood out that was great. Nothing stood out that was bad. Just, it's the usual Drew week. He's getting his thunder dunks of justice, grabbing some rebounds, and playing about 10 minutes. Actually, 11.2 minutes to be exact. So this was what we expect from Drew Eubanks. So I'm just going to rate it as good because he did what I expected. What I didn't expect is KBD, Keita Bates-Diop, getting 20 minutes per game this week and played a lot in that Lakers game. And overall, he gave us the week that I am used to with KBD. Offensively, I would rate him bad. Did not shoot well. Defensively, good. He's grabbing rebounds. He's getting steals. 1.3 steals in 20 minutes is nothing to, not keep an eye on. And 4 rebounds is pretty good as well for a small forward. And he was plus 6.3 and was on the floor. So KBD, his offense, his shot's a little bit awkward. I don't think he's going to be brought in there to be an offensive specialist. I think as he molds his game and continues to grow and get minutes, I think he's going to be more of a defensive guy that can contribute offensively here and there. But he's not going to be a 20-point-per-game guy unless something changes dramatically. Let's get into my incomplete grades for the week. Doug McDermott, a lot of you been asking where the Doug is. He hurt his knee in the Lakers game. I believe it said he was going to be out for 3 games, so he'll be up. He'll miss the game against the Pacers tomorrow night. Should be back, I would assume, for the Mavericks. I think they play Wednesday night. Josh Primo, didn't play. Off to the Austin Spurs. Good luck. Hope you're back sooner than later. We'll see what happens there. Thaddeus Young. Kind of an interesting situation with Thaddeus. A lot of us, definitely myself leading this charge, don't like seeing him at center. And it didn't look great last week. He played 3 minutes against LA. Didn't like what I saw out there. Didn't play against the Mavericks. But last night, he certainly opened a lot of Spurs fans' eyes. Against the Bucks, he played 16 minutes. Scored 10 points and had a +8 overall and looked pretty good, except for one play where I thought he was kind of being a little lazy on a defensive rebound. I like what I saw from Thaddeus Young. Could he start working his way into the lineup? And if he does that mean Drew Eubanks is going to start losing minutes? Because somebody's going to have to lose minutes somewhere. So Thad, I'm glad you finally contributed to the team last night in a huge win versus the Bucks. Up next, Trey Jones. Not really a lot to go off of. Played 13 minutes last week, so he's going to get an incomplete week, which is all these guys are getting incompletes. And last but not least, Jacques Lindell. Played 17 seconds last week. That's right. Brought him at the end of the Bucks game. Spurs fans, I haven't followed Jacques Lindell's career. I know he played college, then didn't come to the NBA for whatever reason, and then he played overseas, and he won an MVP last year, right, in the league he played in. So while he doesn't have NBA experience, he is a seasoned basketball player. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors or happening in practice. For whatever reason, he is not getting any playing time. I don't know if maybe we should send him to the G League, but I don't think he's going to want to go there at his age. Was he 25 or 26? So I really, right now, don't know what the plan is with Jacques Lindell. I'm sure he's got to be getting frustrated, not getting any playing time. I mean, 17 seconds last week. It's got to feel like a slap in the face. So hopefully we can figure out what we're doing with him moving forward. My player of the game, by the way, player of the week. I almost forgot this. This should be obvious. Dejante Murray. I mean, what can we say? He averaged almost a triple-double, had a huge triple-double against the Lakers. I know he's a little hot and cold here and there throughout the week, but overall, I see a lot of people saying DJ's not the guy. Obviously, he's not going to do it every night, but last night versus the Bucks, he took over the game at the end. I think he scored 12 of his points in the fourth quarter, was just hitting shot after shot, contributes defensively. He's a two-way player. I hope this is the breakout season. We keep talking about the Spurs. Who is going to have the breakout season for the San Antonio Spurs this year? Could it be Dejante Murray? If he plays like he did last week, every week, he will be an all-star, and I hope he can keep it up. So congratulations to Dejante Murray for getting the player of the week. Up next for the San Antonio Spurs, we got the Pacers tomorrow night. We play the Mavericks again. Hopefully we can get revenge on them just like we got revenge on the Bucks last night. And then we've closed out the Orlando Magic on Friday. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll be live for every game. We can go 2-1 next week. This week. Very early 2-1. Possibly 3-0. The Spurs are 2-4 right now. They could certainly get close to 500. Or maybe even get over 5. Like 3 games, we're 2-4. So if we go 2-1, we're 4-5. 3-0, we're 5-4. So they could go over. Can't get to 500. They could get just under 500 or over 500 this week. And I think they can do it. I really do think we can go 3-0. It's not going to be easy. I think the Pacers are beatable because they have a lot of injuries right now. I don't know who's going to be available tomorrow night. I don't know if Brogdon's going to play, but we can definitely beat the Pacers if they're still missing guys. We've shown we can compete with the Mavs, and we definitely could beat the Magic since we actually stepped on them opening night. So I expect at least 2-1 this week. Hopefully 3-0. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, go Spurs, go!